Hi friends, Melissa Kerman here. What you see in front of you are some projects made with techniques taught in my Fun with Media and More classes earlier this year. I just adore these projects and techniques and I'm excited to share them with you. This class included several techniques, so I'm going to do a number of videos to cover everything. Today we'll focus on two of the techniques used for these two cards, collage stamping and sponging. Both of these cards have multiple layers, and so there's really a lot going on. I truly believe there's an art to creating the layers in a way that makes the end result look cohesive, yet random and interesting at the same time. I hope to teach you how to achieve this balance between cohesion and randomness while offering ways to achieve great dimension and depth that make your creations interesting and pleasing to the eye. So let's get started. When I taught this class, I suggested that participants bring stamps that lend themselves to collage stamping. Not everyone really knew what I meant by this, so in doing this video, I thought it would be helpful to talk about that a bit. So let's start by talking about the concept of visual weight. So visual weight determines where your eye wants to focus, and balancing the visual weight helps to create depth to your collage and interesting variations in the end product. Some of the elements that influence visual weight and help to achieve balance are your image type. And so when choosing stamps for a collage, you want to pick a variety of shapes, weights, and textures. I usually pick one or two primary images, one or two secondary images, and some less prominent filler type images like backgrounds, random shapes, or textural images. So one example of that is a stamp set called Awesomely Artistic, and those are what I used on these samples right here. So in this set you have a great balance of all of the different types of images I described. This is more heavier weight, so are these two. So these might be my primary images, something feathery and more lightweight, and then some textural or background images. So if you look at these, I'm sure you can see what's the primary image, and it would be the dragonfly. So a couple of other examples. So I've done a collage with this one as well. These are heavier weight images because they're more solid. This Gorgeous Grunge, one of my favorite sets, mostly really all textural background images. This set is a new stamp set in the Occasions catalog, Timeless Textures, and this has a nice balance because this can really be your primary image, and then you've got a secondary image that might be a secondary image, and then of course these are sort of textural and background images. So another thing to consider with visual weight is the depth of color. So here's a visual display of it. So my dragonfly is first inking, or first generation, second, third, fourth, etc. Did the same with my foliage, and then the ferns as well, and then also the background or textural image, and you can see those show up in my final result. And then lastly, one of the considerations for affecting your visual weight is your layout and your spacing. So I have actually stamped this, and this is the same as the final results that are right here, and you can see that my primary image, I've tried to not overlap images over that. I've left a little white space around it. I've stamped images off the edge of the page, which make it look more natural. And for that primary image, because it's the heaviest weight, I didn't want it to be the only thing with that exact weight. So I stamped that a few times around the outside edge just to kind of balance things. And then my secondary or background images are stamped off for second, third, fourth, fifth generation inking. And then my textural image towards the center. So I've overlapped some of the textural images, but I've tried to avoid overlapping my primary image just so that it really shows up as prominent. So on this stamped collage, I've stamped with my basic black archival ink, and I've sponged with the Garden Green, Island Indigo, and Blackberry Bliss classic pads. And I'm going to go over this just with a little bit more color because I want to experiment with getting some more visual weight by adding some color to the edges. So I'm going to take my Garden Green with my sponge and experiment just with a little bit of taking in the edges and emphasizing the color on the edge, leaving the center lighter. Now, I liked it before I did this, but I'm hoping that I like it even more after. So we'll see. Next, I'm going to do a little bit more with my Island Indigo. Just really focusing on my edges where I've done that same color. Okay, and then lastly, I'm going to go in with my Blackberry Bliss. And you can see I'm rubbing pretty hard with the sponge. I think what it's going to do, and what it's doing in my opinion, is really making you focus more towards the center, which is lighter. Now I have also sponged both the Island Indigo and the Blackberry Bliss towards the center, and it sort of turns up a little bit purple, which is kind of fun. So as you can see, I have finished up and made it into a complete card, the focal that I was just working on, and I think it's really pretty just the way it is. Did an inside, sponged it with the green, and so you may just like it just the way it is, but if you want to learn how to get to this next step, or this one, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will have on my website some of the other samples that I've made with the other collages. I've played with it quite a bit, so lots of fun. So I hope you'll subscribe to me and check me out on Pinterest and follow me. And please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.